Predatory Lending Network talking to you. Now the World Economic Forum is meeting in Morocco, and they're asking folks, what are some of the top innovations that the U.S. and the Muslim world can introduce to change the dynamics of their relationship?
Well, if they communicated truthfully instead of just fighting each other, I think that would be very helpful. See, there's a contingency that likes to fight and to control things to make money. So if you have two opposing forces always fighting, someone's always going to make money off of it, because unfortunately war makes money. With steel, with guns, with starvation, with, items that people can sell or trade. So if people stop thinking about just making money, but for the betterment of all, that could help a lot. But also, communicating about religion, sharing each other's knowledge would be very helpful.
And the next thing they want to know, what are some of the drivers, next thing they want to know is what are some of the top strategic drivers of deeper economic,
it's a tough question.
What are some of the top strategic drivers of deeper
engagement?
What are some of the top strategic drivers of deeper engagement of leading Asian economies with North Africa? What are some of the top strategic drivers of deeper engagement of leading Asian economies with North Africa?
Well, the thing is, a lot of different countries have different resources. Africa has numerous resources like metals that are used in computers, diamonds, minerals, all kinds of things. So a lot of countries come into Africa to take their resources without necessarily having a fair balance of trade. So of course people are going to come into Africa and take their resources, oil as well, rubber. So the thing is like, when can there be a balance? When can the people in Africa have a fair trade policy with other countries instead of just getting the shaft? So that's a tough question. The only way it works for me is if there's success on both sides. So Africa is not being raped, and Asia is not getting just cheap minerals or, metals. So I don't know the answer to that question. If people did fair trade, it would be a lot better.
Next thing they want to know is what are the top regional innovations that can foster
What are the top regional initiatives that can foster systematic resilience vis-a-vis evolving global risk?
What are some of the top regional innovations that can foster systemic relations vis-a-vis emerging global risk?
You can't read. Anyway, the thing that's funny, there's always going to be a global risk if you've got people digging in the ocean without having a follow-through plan of a backup plan in case something happens. The thing is, you got to think there's going to be flaws, there's going to be equipment that fails, there's going to be toxic sludge that breaks out of containers. So you got to think like A through Z ways of protecting the environment. I don't think people really think about all the ways that things can go wrong. They're thinking too positive. Think exactly what's going to happen before it happens, and then make your containers stronger. Think about what's going to happen before a tanker blows up in the ocean, or a well has a problem with leakage. You got to think of that way before you even start digging. So I think we have to start thinking about how can we protect the environment before we do anything to it. And there should be severe penalties for people who destroy the environment. God.
All right.
What's the top innovations?
To retool
examination systems to drive education reform.
Okay. What are some of the top innovations that would retool the examination system to drive education reform?
Well, I think some people want people to be stupid, because if you have stupid people, you have slaves, you have cheap labor. So education should be free. Everyone should have access to education. It's good school books, good computers, or good access to libraries where everybody can read you turn off the television, you have discussions, you use deductive reasoning, you have better child care. Like I think in Switzerland it has really good parent leave. If a mom gets pregnant, the dad gets time off as well. So if you start taking care of the kids and you start like turning off the television, you start reading books, you start having a solid family base, that would help a lot. But everyone should have access to good, strong education, and to me it should be free. You shouldn't have to pay for education because that sets a hierarchy of power in the world.
Okay, so in closing, since this is going to the World Economic Forum and intergalactic leaders throughout the galaxy will see this, is there anything you would like to say to them?
Yes. People, behave yourself. Oops, sorry, I just broke your microphone. Do you need that? Sorry, you're gonna hate us, aren't you? Sorry, we'll do that again. Do that again, but it's funny if I pull the microphone. Sorry.
All right, you want? All right.
Yeah, you ready? But yeah, ask the question again, I'll pull it.
Now, since this is going to the World Economic Forum and interplanetary leaders throughout the galaxy will be watching this, is there anything you would like to say to them?
Yes. I'd like to say behave yourself. Avatar was a very interesting movie because there's some truth in it. We have to stop raping other countries with their resources. We have to stop doing that. We start thinking about our footprint, our global footprint. We got to start thinking about how can we work together instead of destroying another person's economy, another country's economy. We have to start thinking how we're all connected. So if I hurt somebody else, I'm actually hurting myself. But I don't think people really get that. So we have to start thinking about renewable energy seriously. There's no reason why cars can't have 100 miles per gallon. There's no reason. We can go to the moon, we can kill people in Iraq or Afghanistan, but we can't solve poverty, we can't solve healthcare problem, we can't solve people starving. I don't understand that. So get off your butts and actually do something good. Actually start loving people. And also today's John Lennon's birthday and he really had it right. Imagine a world that had people that actually loved each other instead of fighting. People make money off of war, so stop fighting. We all have a Jesus and a Hitler in us. It's time to be more like Jesus. Thank you!
So in closing, this is Jarbon from the Predatory Lending Network talking to you.
You gotta pay him.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you, brother.
Push the same button.